Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm so glad you found me. Welcome to the wonderful world of fountain pens. If fountain pens are kind of new to your life, they are amazing. I love fountain pens. Anyway, today we are going to talk about my November inked pens and how the month went. And let's just hop right into it. Life has been a blur the past couple of weeks. It has been so crazy. And I don't mind when things are busy, but I have not been able to catch my breath until late yesterday. I'm filming this on Sunday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. And, well, it's plenty of other days. I have a friend from college who has her birthday today. Mine was yesterday. Woohoo! And I've finally had some downtime to just relax a little bit, wake up without an alarm. It's been so wow, the little things, right? Anyway, let's talk about my November pens. It was quite the month. Not enough time with my pens, but I don't know, it's interesting. When I look at the palette, and I normally just, if you don't already know, I like to match my inks with the pens. I don't really go for something that's totally, I don't know, the opposite or adjacent. I like them to match. It makes me feel good. And it's all about my feelings, and that's my pen life. So while I liked the colors, and some didn't perfectly match, but I was trying to be a little different. The thing that was different was the saturation of color, and a high contrast between the ink and the paper for me is ideal because my eyesight is sure not 20/20. So any little edge I can get to help me see better, I take it. But I picked inks that weren't necessarily that way. They were a bit desaturated, which, was fine. And I still like the colors, but they're really not what I would typically go for, but I still liked what I picked. So let's talk about them. First is the Benu Euphoria in the colorway Hot Toddy. This pen was a Gold Spot Pens exclusive. I was fortunate enough that they sent it to me for review, and I love it. It's my first Benu, and I have another that I picked up a couple months ago, and quiet, I have one on the way. Yes, I didn't get anything Fountain Pen Day, but I did with Black Friday / Cyber Monday. Anyway, that's coming. I love the way this pen writes. This pen has a medium Schmidt nib. It's a steel nib, and it's a lovely, lovely wet writer. I love wet writers. And it's inked with Wearingeul Natsume Soseki. It is a beautiful color. It kind of reminds me of Robert Oster Peach, which is a yellow-orange color also. I won't say it's exactly like this. If I can find a swatch to add in, I will, but please don't hold me to it. It's an easy color to read. It's easy to see when you're writing with it. I loved writing with this combination. I loved it. It was beautiful. I don't know. I love this pen. That's all I have to say. I just love this pen. I could gush, but that's totally useless. Let's keep it real. I love the pen. I love Benus. Anyway, we'll move along to the next pairing. I'm going to try and keep it more to the point. Next is another favorite pen of mine, the Diplomat Aero in the colorway Antique Rose. This is a metal pen, so I know some people have very passionate feelings about metal pens. It has a medium steel nib and is currently inked with Teranishi Opera Rose. It's an ink that I had been curious about for probably close to 2 years, early on in my fountain pen journey. And I just like the name. And I like that it wasn't rose colored, because I don't know, I just have negative connotations of rose. Just rose air freshener when I was a kid way back in the day. Yeah, rose, no. But I love the color. It is beautiful. And I made a little swatchy swatch down there. I hadn't done those in a while. I loved writing with this. This was beautiful. I don't know what to say about the color. It doesn't perfectly match. It's kind of adjacent. I love the ink. It's the ink. Yeah, I have some inks where the color is not my favorite color, but the writing with the ink is so good that I get past the color. And this is one of those. Because it's not my favorite color. It's kind of a pinky brown, which I like when it leads a little more to the pink than the brown. But the writing was so good, and I loved writing with this. And we'll leave it there. I'm a little discombobulated. I haven't made a video in, I don't know, probably about 2 weeks. Let me move this little cutting out of the way. I've got a hot mess on my desk. It's slightly cleaner, slightly. I'll get my life together someday. I am not bothered. It's just a small thing. Next, pen. Brought this back up out of nowhere. It is the Kaweco Sport. It's so cute. I had to stop myself from wanting to collect these because it would be so easy to do. I just had to stop myself. That's not to say it'll never happen. Anyway, this green pen has a fine steel nib, gold colored, but it's steel. And it's currently inked with Teranishi Emotional Olive. Another one of those inks where I like the name. And I wanted to try it because I like the name. And I do like greens, so this was a fun one. And here's a news flash. I know, at least in my experiences, Kawecos tend to write on the drier side. And for me, it's about trying to find inks that are wet enough, because I like a more wet writing experience, to find an ink that would pair well with a Kaweco, so it's not feeling dry and just gross to me. And this was great. It was on the drier side of wet, meaning it was good enough for me, if that's your scale. I mean, for whatever that's worth. But it wasn't like dry going down. It wasn't super wet, but it wasn't dry. It was okay for a Kaweco because like I said, I like wet writers like the Benu. Even the Diplomat Aero, that's really good. But this, oh my goodness, I totally enjoyed it. Oh goodness, find your words, Anita. My expectations were nil. I didn't expect it to be great. I didn't expect it to be horrible. I didn't have any expectations at all. But it was really good, and I was shocked. I was shocked. I hadn't touched the pen for 2 weeks when I did the writing sample, and it wrote right away. And it was nice. I mean, such a pleasant surprise. Just such a pleasant surprise. And I like the green of the ink much more than I like the green of the pen. I can see these two being buddied up for a while. It was really good. I totally enjoyed that. And I was surprised. Next pen is a favorite. It is the Leonardo Furore in the colorway Aquapetra. I love this. Like my two favorite colors in here, we got like a tealy color and purple, and it's pinkish, and I just love these all together. This pen has a medium nib and is currently inked with Inkebara Pastel Violet. Now, this was interesting, but not what you may be thinking. The desaturated color was sometimes a little bit hard to read when I was writing. In the daytime, it was totally fine. At night, not as easy, but I could still see okay. But I'm not sure if the color that was coming out of the pen was actually the correct color of the ink. Because you can see the swatch, it leans more pink. I don't know. Now let's go back to where I first wrote this, over here. When I first inked the pen, it looks more pink. So there may be some residual in there. I'm not sure. Let me grab my pen journal. I keep a journal of the pens as I use them because I didn't start this at the very beginning. And whatever ink I put in it, I add it to this log. So I can just look up this pen and see what ink has been in it since I started keeping track of that probably almost 2 years ago. Hold on a second. Okay. This is the Leonardo Furore and Aquapetra. The last ink in it, if I didn't miss anything, was, oh my goodness, almost a year ago, Robert Oster Tranquility. So I guess it could be possibly a little residual ink in there. I don't know. But this definitely looks more blue, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in a pen that I haven't inked before. I think I still have some of those, but I'm not sure. But it was a good writing experience, you know, aside from the desaturation of the color. It was a nice, wet enough writing experience, and I enjoyed it. Easy enough to see at night, easier to see in the daytime. And it was kind of interesting with the shading, but like I said, I'm not sure if this is the color, because it looked like this when I first inked the pen. So I don't know, but I didn't dislike it. I don't know. I'll leave that there. Another one of those situations is the Esterbrook Estie in the colorway Sea Glass. This pen has a medium steel nib and is currently inked with Tono Lims Rainy Winter. Again, I don't know if the color that was coming out of here is the same as what I put into the pen. I think there may have been some residual in there. Look at the swatch. The swatch is beautiful. I love that. But the writing is more green. Let's look back when I first inked the pen. I don't know. Yeah, definitely more green. Make sure I'm in the frame. So I don't know. I don't know. There's definitely going to be an asterisk next to this in my journal because I don't know. And I did not, newsflash, pick up an ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to get one though, but I didn't pick it up for the Black Friday because I was busy and I didn't pick up anything, and nothing grabbed me as a good enough deal to get me excited. Like, oh, look, I was getting so many notifications, but you know, that's total sidebar. But this color that was coming out, which I don't think is the ink color, was a bit hard to see at times. And I don't know. I'm going to have to give the pen another cleaning, or maybe put that ink in a different pen. I don't know. I need to do a better job cleaning my pens, apparently. Let's see what was in here. I hope I kept track. Esterbrook. What was in here last? Because I'm curious. Sea Glass Estie. Wearingeul Path. Wow, I haven't inked that in a minute. So I guess it's possible that there's some green left over in there. Huh. Interesting. All right. Moving right along to my last pairing for November. I love this pen. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero in the colorway Golden Abalone. This pen was a Atlas Stationers exclusive, and I do believe they still have this resin. I believe it's a Jonathan Brooks resin, if my memory is working. I believe that this resin is still being used for other pen models than this. So if it's something you like, I think it's still available out there in other pens. So check out Jonathan Brooks, if nothing else. Anyway, this pen has a fine flex nib, or an elastic fine. I'll have it on the screen, y'all. You know how I do. And is currently inked with Kobe Bitter Chocolate. Yeah, my first fine Leonardo. I was nervous because I don't know. I kind of wanted a stub, but there weren't any available. So I got a fine flecks. I like it. I definitely like it. Much more than I did when I first got the pen. And with this ink in it, this was wonderful. I don't know. When I first got the ink, I liked the name. I can't lie. I was influenced by the name. But I didn't mind having a brown that was a nice shading brown, and just to see how the Kobe ink would perform. Because I think I might have a sample I got in a swap. I forget right now. Anyway, when I picked up a bunch of inks whose brands I had very little or no experience with, Kobe was one of them. And I saw it and I was like, oh, it's nice, but you know, it's just, you know, brown. But it's wonderful in this pen. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And it's a nice shading ink, you know? And if brown is not your thing, trust me, I get it. It's not really my thing either. But like I said, sometimes the writing, the performance of the ink outweighs the color of the ink for me. And this, again, was one of those. I'm like, I don't dislike it. You know, it's a nice brown, but, you know, it's just a nice brown. But, oh, wow, it's wonderful in the pen. Another one of those is like, ooh, I could gush, but I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to look back and tell y'all what my top 3 of these 6 pens were my favorite. Hey, guys, it's Editing Anita. I realized that I did not rate my pens individually. And in the effort to be consistent, I am inserting it here. So here we are. The Benu, for comfort, I gave it an 8. For flow, a 10. And visually, it got a 10. I love writing with Benu pens. So far, I have not had an exception to the experience. They're lovely wet writers, and I love the hot toddy. It's the Euphoria model, and it was wonderful with the Wearingeul ink. So that's how that was rated. The Diplomat Aero, I gave comfort an 8. Flow is a 10, and visually the pairing is about a 9. Another wonderful wet writing experience. The only thing I would change about the ink is the color. But as I said, there's times when the writing, the performance of the ink overrides the color, and I can just ignore the color because the writing is so good. And definitely it's one of those inks. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Teranishi Opera Rose. The Kaweco Sport in green, for comfort, I gave it a 7. It's a bit narrow for me. I don't really use Kawecos for long writing sessions. I just use them more like jotters, taking notes and stuff like that, like quick notes. Nothing long, because then my hand will start to ache. The flow of the ink, I gave an 8, and visually the pairing got an 8. And I was really surprised by how wet of a writing experience it was. Now, everything being relative, the Benu and the Diplomat were both wetter writers, but for Kaweco, that was really good. And I liked it, and I would totally do that again. The Leonardo Furore in Aquapetra and the Esterbrook Estie in Sea Glass, I rated similarly. The Leonardo, I love Leonardos. For comfort, it got an 8. The flow of the ink got an 8. Visually, it got a 7. I'm not sure what color I had coming out of the pen, but what I had coming out was not what I put in there at the beginning of November. And so I'm not really sure what kind of performance I'm rating, because I think something is mixed in with the ink that I added to the pen. Same thing with the Esterbrook Estie and Sea Glass. The color did not match what I put in the pen. You know, when you flood the feed with ink, when you first ink the pen, you know, when you dip the bottle in, you're going to get the color. But once things kind of settle down, I don't know what I got. So yeah, I'm going to put an asterisk next to that. Find your words, honey. And finally, I scribbled at the end, the Leonardo Momento 0 in golden abalone. Again, the comfort of Leonardo's for me is about an 8. The flow was a 10, and the visual pairing was a 10. I loved that pairing. And now back to the video. And that should be easy. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. The top three, in no particular order at all, are the Benu Euphoria with the Wearingeul. Oh no, what's the name? I forgot the name. It's on the screen because, yeah, my brain just farted and absolutely nothing came out. So first, I would say, yeah, top three. I can't say which position. This was really good. I loved it. I would do this again, but I only have a sample, so at some point it's going to be very sad because I will have no more. Another top three, definitely. I love this pen. I don't know why I don't have more because I'm trying to expand my horizons. The Diplomat Aero, inked with Teranishi Opera Rose. I love this combination. I have loved every ink that's gone into this pen so far. I absolutely love this model of the Diplomat. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. And third, definitely Kobe Bitter Chocolate in my Leonardo Momento Zero in Golden Abalone. Oh, these three. Come on out, pen. These three were just amazing. The inks, if I could get a bottle of this Wearingeul ink, I would. I don't think I can. I'm going to double check. But the other two, I could possibly have bottles in my future, especially Opera Rose. Oh, it's really, really good. Yes, Be Still My Heart. Now, as for the others, they weren't bad. This was good, but just not, I didn't love it as much as I loved the top three. And the other two, I don't include because I'm not sure if there wasn't something else mixed in with the inks that I added to the pens. And for that reason, they're not going to qualify for a top three because I don't know what kind of performance I'm rating. But these three, amazing. I love them all. And I love fountain pens, y'all. And that's why we're here. Because we love and enjoy writing with them. And I just love how you could literally have one pen and change your experience just by changing the ink. It's so wonderful, especially if you have a really good pen. You have a good pen, it writes well, you change the ink and it's almost like you have a new pen. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Coming up on the channel, I will have my December currently inked pens. I will have a haul at some point in December because I picked up some new pens from Atlas. Spoiler, I won't tell you what they are though, but one of them is a Benu. And I will be doing, as I did in 2024, top 10s of just how my fountain pen year went. So y'all can look forward to those. Thanks for coming back for another video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.